What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Worst Fans Podcast. I'm Victor. Joining me is Marco and Rhett, and we're here to talk about a couple of interesting topics. First, we're going to talk about Hogwarts Legacy again. My brother's been playing it for the past week, and he's loving it, and he wants to give us an update on where he's at right now with it. We're also going to talk about Antman coming out tomorrow, the Rotten Tomato scores on that. And we are also going to talk about the Flash trailer that finally came out, premiered on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we're really excited about that. So,
along with Rihanna's pregnancy announcement.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That was shocking, yet I didn't really care. But hey, that's
it was it was a conversation piece to be like, I'm not pointing, but is that what
you're right?
Yeah.
But that was
like, look around there like,
that was on purpose, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Of course. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I thought Chris Brown was gonna pop up out of nowhere, but I don't know. Maybe...
Chris Brown. I don't know why you said Chris Pratt, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Another Chris Pratt thing? Oh boy.
All right. So actually, before all of that,
yes, before
that's right. We have an unboxing. My brother has two unboxings actually. So what you got?
So I don't know if you guys have noticed my beautiful neck brace here.
Yeah. Did you get into an accident at work? What happened?
Yeah, I get workers' comp now, so I'm just chilling at home for the next 3 months. No, this is actually something I bought recently, and it's a Black Series helmet, and I'm pretty sure most fans can already tell whose helmet it is. So let me go get the rest of it.
Michael Scott's.
And this is very, very detailed, by the way. So if you couldn't tell, it's Darth Vader's helmet. This is the next piece that goes on.
Damn. That shit
that
looks
is
awesome.
Beautiful.
God.
Damn. That looks accurate. That looks nice. I am jealous.
I want to hear the sound effect, the air,
You guys are speaking, I can't really hear you that much, but this is the next piece that goes on.
Okay.
This is exactly how Anakin or Vader does it in his chamber too.
Exactly. just like this.
Yep. Gets the fingerprints on it. It looks so good.
It does. Give us a no.
Oh, even sounds like it.
Bad, yeah.
Yes. So there's also some breathing mechanisms, but I don't think you'll be able to hear it because of the.
I want you to bark you don't have to make any sounds. I'm gonna do the audio track for you, but I want you to act like you're angry and you're shaking your head. Commander, turn out this ship apart and bring me the passengers. I want them alive.
That's great.
And now I want you to look behind you like you're surprised, okay? Ready? What?
If you could stay like that the whole show, it'd be great. I know you can't do it.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Not happening at all.
Oh well.
Have you been floating around in that for a week? It smells like butt, leather, and bacon.
It is very, very uncomfortable. So someone with a 19 neck. So.
Hey, Goyo. 19. That's it.
Jesus. Yeah.
I remember at one point I was like a 15 and a half, and I still have that shirt, and I occasionally mess it up. I'm like, oh, that's not the right shirt. It chokes me, so I have to wear 16 and a half.
Okay, so this is what the bottom half looks like here. It's very detailed. It's a beautiful helmet.
Very nice.
Damn.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's so cool. It goes through your chair.
That cost me the whopping 100. Well, at Disney they have it priced at 140, but with annual pass, it's 140. But with annual pass,
I'm actually surprised
you can get it with 120. So
I would have guessed 200 plus.
Be
no
right
problem. Back. Especially at Disney. Disney would have been like throw a $50 tax.
Yes, seriously.
Dang, that's good, man.
Man, it looks really good. This is like a cheap ass toy.
It looks awesome. So this here is my second unboxing.
Ooh,
and close. I don't know if you can already tell what it kind of is.
Nope, not at all.
Not at all, right? Okay, so.
Oh, I think I know what's in there. Yeah.
So this is a beauty. It's not Vader's, because I already have Vader's. But can we kind of get a guess on whose lightsaber it is?
I know it because you showed it to me.
I already did.
Text, but I happen to recognize it. You were probably impressed. Like, damn, I didn't think you were gonna get that.
Yeah, that's very true. I did not think you were gonna get it.
Yeah.
So this is
just I have an eye for design. Like it's just my thing. Like I remember that. Yeah.
So this is Great Darth Sidious. This lightsaber.
Glad you said it the right way and you just call him Palpatine like the rest of the world.
No, sorry, that is not Palpatine.
Palpatine
uses a lightsaber. A Palpatine uses a microphone and speaks to senators.
Yes.
It's treason then.
So, and this is what it looks like when it's ignited.
Ew.
Nice.
So this is the longer blade they have at Galaxy's Edge, the 34 inch or something like that. They have two sizes, like 34 inches and 28 inches or something like that.
So that's the one that took out basically, well, not Mace Windu, but Kit Fisto and the other guy.
The other two that were with him.
The horn guy with the broken horn, yeah.
Yes, correct.
That scene doesn't really get talked about enough. That's a very underrated scene. It was such a great, like, whoa, what the,
I thought it was kind of BS.
I remember the moment it happened. The friends I was with, I remember the female was like, "Oh," because it was such a shock. Like when he kind of, we in the preview, all you see is him putting the lights, snapping it out of his sleeve.
Yeah.
And then the cut in the trailer is like him kind of landing there and like gliding a little.
Gliding.
You don't see the
twist,
spiral, like he just jumped off a diving board and is doing Olympic feet, so it's kind of like, what just happened?
And there was like this great sound effect, like he was like,
it's like a roar,
it was great.
So one of my least favorite design flaws about this one is that they didn't really have a place to put Palpatine's like ignition for the lightsaber, because I feel like in the movies it was probably one of these buttons here, or probably both of them, I don't know, but the ignition on this one is like a little slide here that clearly doesn't belong here. It's like a little button that you just click up and open. It's kind of whack, but this is actually the first one of these actual like Galaxy's Edge lightsabers I've seen that's rechargeable. It doesn't have a battery. It's like, how the rest of them kind of have batteries. This one you kind of plug in with a USB cable and it just charges, which I thought was pretty cool.
So it's got like a lithium battery in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of
the double A's. Mm-hmm. And
cool.
This lightsaber, Plo Koon's lightsaber, Luminara Undula's lightsaber, and Leia's lightsaber were all on sale at Galaxy's Edge for 30% off. So instead of the usual $180 price tag, it was $120.
Nice.
Very cool.
Plo Koon, he's the one with the mask on his face and the
yes,
eyes.
I love Plo Koon. He's basically Ahsoka's adopted father.
Yeah, and he got shot down on Order 66, right? He was the one flying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Leia's lightsaber, I guess I'm assuming that's Episode 9 lightsaber.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The only time she had one, if I heard. Oh, well, Rey took it in the same movie. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, it's the same, yeah.
I think you made the right call.
Yes, absolutely. I like Plo Koon's, but it was really similar to Luminara Unduli's. Like, they look almost exactly the same, except Luminara's is a little golden. And both of them actually felt really light, like lightweight. They didn't have like weight to them, like the Sidious's did. And Sidious's is smaller. Sidious's has one of the smaller lightsabers, but Plo Koon's is like 20% bigger, but it was way lighter. I was like, I don't like the quality of that, so I'm gonna go with Sidious.
Okay.
Cool.
So those are my unboxings. Hope y'all enjoyed.
I did. That was the best.
All right, cool. Well, let's stay with you because
yes,
I'm sure you want to talk about Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes, absolutely.
How that's been going.
Hogwarts Legacy is very.
We got
very
to watch
fun.
him. Yeah, we got to watch him play it a little last week. We would have liked to shown it, but we didn't. So whatever.
There were some technical errors with the podcast. We attempted to do our first video game podcast last week, but the file corrupted. It was a huge mess. So unfortunately, we could not show the footage of that today or last week as well. But I'm sure there's plenty of footage out there that you can actually go watch and enjoy the game, various different videos, or just go out and play yourself. Because honestly, I highly recommend it if you're a Harry Potter fan. It's very, very, very well made. Avalanche Software did a fantastic job recreating the Harry Potter world to scale, because it's just amazing. And it's not only the world of Hogwarts, it's not only Hogsmeade, it's the entirety of the Harry Potter world, and you could do so much in the world. You get so sidelined. The main story probably 30 hours, but you can get lost easily.
Can you imagine
easily 100 hours just putting in side quests and doing other things on the side, and it's just fantastic.
Wow. So last week we talked about it. Said, it's kind of adopted from a little here, a little there, but look, since then I've been watching YouTube videos on it here and there, and I learned something that really a lot of the design and whatnot is basically more. They call it like just the book or the overall universe. It really wasn't as influenced by the movies as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, like, so are there are no characters in that? How many characters from that movie I'm sorry, from the game have made it to the movies?
None, because it takes place in the late
None.
1800s.
There you go.
So not a single movie. There's one
That
character
helps, I
that's
think.
yeah, it helps. There's one character that's mentioned in the books, and he's a poltergeist. His name is Peeves. Basically like an annoying Slytherin ghost that messes around with the kids and gets them in trouble and just like constantly bugs them. He's actually integrated into this game, so we do see the game version of him. There are some. I'm sorry, I made a mistake because there are some recognizable characters. There's nearly headless Nick, who's a ghost. You see him going around the Hogwarts. You see a couple of different mentions to like the paintings. It's the same ones that are in the movie. Mostly are just ghosts that you see a lot of.
I think at the video I saw, the thumbnail had like side by side of the Hogwarts castle.
Yeah.
And it's clearly like there's some design differences that are different enough to be like, that's not like an upgraded construction. It's like, that's a completely different castle. Like the design is different enough to be like, that is definitely not designed after the film. So
Yeah.
I think that's fine because I could tell they're branching. Remember we had this conversation. I think they're finding ways to branch a little bit away from it, but keep it kind of like your Rings of Power thing, where it's like, it's close enough, you know, the uninitiated might not even realize there's a difference at all.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they kind of do branch out, you're going to be like, okay, there was a transition period in there. That was the game, for instance, or something like that. So
yeah,
I think that's what's going on. We're getting, I mean, let's face it. It was over 20 years ago when Harry Potter came out. The first movie, I mean.
The first one, yeah.
The first books for sure.
2001, I believe, was the first one came out. The movie.
I mean, things are getting generational. And honestly, I have to admit, Lord of the Rings is the same. It's been
I was
20
gonna
years.
say, I'm like, yeah, you know, Lord of the Rings is up there too.
I know
I mean,
it is, and I guess Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit movies, is still that same creator design.
Yeah.
And when did that end? 2010, 20? No, maybe more like 2013, 14. The last Hobbit movie came out.
Yeah, it was like 2014, I believe. Yeah.
So really, it's more like that ended about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, versus Harry Potter's last one. Actually, it was about the same, huh? It was like 2015 or
around there, yeah.
Well, the last Harry Potter?
Yeah, 2014, 2013, something like that.
No. Last Harry Potter came out on
2011.
2011, 2012, 2011. 2011, I believe, yeah.
Dude, really? No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
Nah, you're out of your mind.
Yes. Oh,
Nah,
shit.
you're
Are you gonna argue with me?
He's right. 2011, Deathly Hallows.
You know what? You know what though? You bring up a really good point on how this is their way with Hogwarts and with Rings of Power, how they're kind of branching out and kind of doing their own thing, but not doing it so obvious that the general audience isn't going to really tell. Because you're right, Rings of Power, I know you haven't seen it, but just the general audience who just likes Lord of the Rings, the movies, if they're watching the series, they're not going to tell these are totally separate universes.
Yeah,
they're not.
They're going to say what you said.
They're not going to tell.
Oh, well, this is so far in the past. No wonder things look a little different. It's like, you're
because there are some things that look very similar to Peter Jackson's world, and some things that, like us, could tell, like, yeah, this has nothing to do with that. But yeah, and the same thing with Hogwarts. Yeah,
they're gonna. Yep.
Yeah. So
that's how they're going to do it. It's funny. Some things are so iconic you can't miss it, and I almost feel like Star Wars is gonna have a hard time with that. Like our lightsaber is gonna look different in a new.
If they
ever rebooted it, I don't think they're ever gonna reboot Star Wars.
I don't think they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. They can't.
Yeah, they're too invested in the new world they created. They
yeah.
Although it seems like every movie they announce gets Canex, so.
Well, that's another issue altogether. That's management. That's ownership. That's what needs to go. Because there's plenty of Star Wars to explore that has not been tapped yet. It's just they don't find the need to do it because the owner right now just is a freaking idiot. So
and every freaking time they come up with something, you're like modestly interested, and you get canceled. It got disappeared. I mean, let's just start from the Rian Johnson trilogy. Who knows what that was? Whether we're excited for it or not, who knows? Game of Thrones guys, they've left.
I mean, let's go back to that because Game of Thrones, the last season was basically rushed and ruined because those guys were going to work on Star Wars. They rushed it. and that got canceled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Taika Waititi.
Waititi? Who knows? It
happened
was
with that?
talked about. Yeah, we were 6 months ago. We were chit chatting about it, thinking, oh, we might have an idea here, and then that not silence. What was that? Oh, the Patty Jenkins
Patty
Wonder Woman.
Jenkins, Rogue One.
Rogue,
Well, not Rogue One,
Squadron,
but
yeah.
Rogue Squadron. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one I wanted the
Canceled.
most. What's funny is Top Gun Maverick came out after then, and now I'm almost like, anything they do, they're gonna act like you're just trying to copy Top Gun. So, because I thought that was so no, because that culture, what makes Rogue Squadron cool is that pilot culture. The guys in the mission in the briefing room, guys, girls in the briefing room, doing the whole squadron wingmate thing, wingman. It's a cool culture, and in Star Wars that just is really, and that's why those books were so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Because they dove into that deeply, and I think that would have been neat. And I think now it would just look like a copy. So I'm almost not terribly disappointed anymore that isn't going on, because I think it'd be made fun of at this point. Anyway, the last thing I heard, I guess we can kind of delve into a new topic, is there was a little talk now of after an interview with Daisy Ridley that maybe she is considering, like she dropped a hint that perhaps she would return as Rey. I don't remember the exact context of this, but it was an interview.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I read the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the podcasters started talking about it, and they could. Oh, they said what would work out is if you bring Rey and like Grogu together, which I was like, ugh. Now it's like, sell it because it sells. Like, what can we do to build it up? Just throw Grogu in there. It's like, really? Like, he should have been dead. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't like that. I do like that there could be a final episode if that's the way they go, because I've been arguing for that for a long time, and I think the problem is they're not going to do it right. They need to consider the bigger picture. It needs to be like Clash of the Titans, where Zeus and Hera are up there in the clouds, playing with their chess pieces, and
it needs to be made by someone who knows Star Wars. That's the biggest.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem.
Well,
do what the fans want, and there's only one person, two people that can do it, and they can do it together.
Yeah.
Produce it by Favreau, directed by Filoni, and you're done.
That's it.
Yeah.
And they'll never do it. I don't know why they won't. It seems like we're even hearing rumors that Favreau is starting to get fed up, or had moments of like nearly quitting because Kathleen was getting in the way.
He's fed up with Kathleen's shit. You know what I mean?
He got a Hollywood star recently, right?
He did. Yeah, he did.
He deserves it.
Yeah, for bringing back Luke Skywalker. Yep.
I think it'd be kind of cool because if Daisy does return, and the only reason why she returned, why she's talking now, is because I don't think she's been able to get any other work. So nothing's really panned out. So, I think the best idea, which I read this somewhere, but I like the idea of in the Ahsoka show, somehow if they mess with what do you call it? The world beyond
worlds.
World between worlds, and somehow she ends up with Rey.
Yeah.
And if they were to fix the ending of Rise of Skywalker, where that stupid ending where that old lady out of nowhere just comes out and says, who are you? And Ahsoka just pops up instead, and it's like, I know who you are. And then we basically go to this alternate kind of like new story where
I said that. Remember, I made a whole 5-minute like thing I said to you, and I said,
yeah, but was it Ahsoka though? Was it Ahsoka?
Yeah, I said this is what the teaser would be, and I like narrated the whole thing and said,
so it was you. Okay, yeah. I'm like, where did I hear this? But I like that idea. And yeah, that would be amazing.
Well, because it's like she's here for, and here's the problem: no one recognizes this about Rey, and I'm trying to give her a little bit of credit, or at least the creators some credit where I think they're going, but they didn't do themselves any favor by not giving her a mission to do once she finally became Ultimate Rey.
Right.
But yeah, she's truly an actual mix and a balance of the Force when you think about it. She is born of the blood of a very powerful Sith, the most powerful at that time, who did lots of bad Sith things, strong Sith blood. And then at the end, she takes basically with that healing transition, they say you lose a little bit of yourself when you heal somebody. She was completely healed from death, so she killed Ben inadvertently, taking all of his Force power with her. So she has inherited Skywalker power, blood of Palpatine. It's truly a powerful, potent mix. She could do a lot at this. Yeah, it's a literal balance of good and bad.
Yeah.
So while I don't think it was the greatest move, I understand why she could actually claim the Skywalker name. Ooh, I know it's hard to piece together, but not for nothing. Not to just end it there and say that's the end of it. It's like why? Why even do that? Like that should have been a pre-final episode, and now have a final episode where it's like we have built the complete chosen one, mix of good and bad. It took generations of good, evil, Sith, chosen one, immaculate conception to finally come up with someone who is equally good and bad, built of bad but formed by the good. And now we have this intergalactic true like force the wills of the force is imploding or something. We have to actually go back to Boopy, help me with the name of the planet. From Clone Wars, the brother and the sister and the father.
Mortis.
Yeah. We got to go back to them. Like I keep going back to this old, I'm referencing the old 1960s Clash of the Titans or Jason the Argonauts, I don't remember which one, where it shows like the gods up in the sky who've been playing chess this whole time, and they're going to go take care of whatever they need to. It's like Kratos going to kill Zeus. He's like, we've had enough of this down here. We're taking the force back and we're going to set things right.
Well, the Mortis people are dead, so I don't know how that would work.
I watched it again since you have, and there was a bit of a misconception that one of us is having on that.
Why so?
I have to see it again because I don't remember exactly, unless you remember it exactly by heart, which sometimes you don't.
Well, the father and the son are dead.
Those two are dead.
Yes, and when the daughter died, she transferred her energy to Ahsoka. That's why Ahsoka has that owl around her all the time. That's kind of like the embodiment of the daughter.
Okay, so maybe they can be. I need to look at it again. I think I do remember this, but perhaps they're not the actual, source. Perhaps there's another. Perhaps there's something. I don't know. Like it's the heaven and hell of the Force, and that was maybe like the what's that?
Well, there was the wills that
purgatory.
The ones that helped Yoda train and to go to the afterlife on the Yoda episodes.
There you go. Yeah, I remember those guys.
There's
got to be something bigger that even if it's original at this point, that's great. It could involve wars and say, with it, our prophecy was sent to them. It's got to be beyond the Empire with their ships blowing up fucking planets. It's got to be beyond.
It's got to be beyond basic war.
Politics,
it's got to be
war.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to be the eternal plane and the Force and ghosts and the Force. It's got to go back to why did this happen? Why did the Chosen One get created?
And it would need an episode 10 to explain that and to kind of wrap things up.
There it is.
It's funny. It's
been
funny
asking
you
for
say
this
that.
for years. Yeah.
Yes, but I sent both you guys a link to a YouTube channel that basically has an illustration of Duels of the Fates, and basically it's over 2 hours long. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was long. I haven't watched it.
So it's a comic illustration. It's kind of like an audio book almost, but just
cool. I can't wait.
But when I tell you, I haven't even finished it yet because I haven't had time. I've seen it. I saw a good chunk of it today. But this is the episode that we should have gotten. I don't know how the hell they scrapped this and decided to go with Rise of Skywalker. I know a lot. Look, a lot of it has to do with the fact that Leia is very much heavily involved in Episode 9, and I can understand that her death kind of like mixed things up, where they had to change a couple of things. But they have to change up everything. If they had to if they had to basically use deep fake to actually make this work, I don't care. This script is so much better than what we got. I'm not saying it's perfect, but once you get into it,
better,
if you're 30 minutes, trust me when I tell you, you'll be 30 minutes in and you're like, there's 2 scenes that gave me chills. I'm like, oh my God, just this scene alone was better than anything Rise of Skywalker did. It makes sense. It has a narrative that just makes sense.
Well, yeah, Rise of Skywalker makes no sense.
No, dude, it has Mortis in it. Okay, it talks about issues that going beyond what we've seen. I'm like, what the. Why was this not in this movie? This was Episode 9. Now, there were things in there that were like, I'm not sure I'm nuts about that, but I could overlook it because I think every Star Wars film has something like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, you can't figure out why did they put that in
there. Yeah, there's a romance in there that kind of like they're hinting at. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't really care, but it's
Finn. I'm sure it's Finn.
No, well, I haven't gotten to that part yet, but no, it's something else. But Rey has a double-bladed lightsaber. Cool. Kylo, as much as you don't like Kylo, but his story has so much more like weight to it now.
He needed a story. That's the problem.
Know?
It wasn't that he needed a story. He had nothing other than I'm a do what my grandfather wanted because I'm a problem with Luke Skywalker.
It's and then Ray seems like more. It's funny. It almost feels like this one reminded me a lot of reverse of Empire Strikes Back with Return of a Jedi thrown
Battery
into it,
low.
but it felt like Star Wars. It felt like, damn, this was great, and all the characters like Ray,
Charging battery.
Finn, and what's this guy?
Poe.
Poe, and what's this guy? I know that's
Spice Runner.
and
that's cool.
And the other girl.
Check that out. Maybe we should
from The Last Jedi. What's her name?
Rose.
They all feel like a family in this one. They really do. It's like it felt okay. Like you feel it. It's like the way it was written. It was so much better. And I'm like, why didn't we get this? I mean, it could have really finished out, like closed out a trilogy. Not perfect, but a lot better than what the fuck we got. Because it kills me. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm telling you, everything that I've seen so far. It
sounds like it would have been an imprument. I mean,
man.
I feel like it would have been nice to have known the story at least by the middle.
When they explain her lightsaber, they explain how she created it and why it's double bladed, and it made sense for her character. I'm like, yeah, of course, because she had a staff the whole time, and I'm like, why would she have a double bladed lightsaber?
Goddamn time. That's exactly what we've been saying the whole.
When I saw that, I'm like, oh my god.
Well,
they get it. Like I don't get it. So.
I'm not trying to like anything, but this was like ages ago. We were hoping she would have a double bladed for the sake that she had a staff. It's the same fighting style as
Yeah.
It only made sense. It was just you could tell that story had no one who knew anything about Star Wars in it.
Yeah. Well, she just had Anakin's lightsaber the whole time anyway, so it was like.
Yeah, you show hers at the very end.
There were two scenes with Luke Skywalker as a ghost that he came in the beginning, and those scenes were amazing. I was just like, wow, I can't believe.
Maybe we should watch this, all of us, and then next time talk about it in a little more detail.
Yeah, we should.
It's not a bad idea.
I could probably break it up into a couple nights and watch it.
Because it's long. It's almost 3 hours. Because obviously this isn't like this is just like the draft of the story. It was not edited or anything, so it's just thrown in, and you can tell some parts were like, okay, I could deal without that. But
sorry, I'm getting tired. We should probably move along.
Yes, absolutely. So Hogwarts Legacy is really good. So you should play it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
all right. All right.
Somehow we get to Star Wars. Sorry.
All right. So tomorrow, Antman comes out. The new MCU movie.
And the Wasp. Don't forget it says and the Wasp.
Quantumania.
Quantumania.
You can't spell Quantumania without Antman.
Excuse me, this is the first movie in what do you call it? Because now we're moving into 5, right? As far as not season 5.
Phase
5 of the MCU. And Rotten Tomatoes has already kind of said, it really isn't that good anymore. The critics, it's not like awful, but it's like a 54 around there.
Yeah.
They're saying that Kane is really good in the as a villain, but it strikes the question. I mean, is this really? Because Phase 4 was a hit and miss, right? I mean, it just was. But are people really starting to get fatigue of MCU? I mean, I feel like it feels like the same tired kind of I don't know. I think people are really starting to get tired of the same MCU kind of movies, the same kind of lame comedy, the easy kind of like the CGI of just I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think this is gonna be like a bomb? You think it's gonna fail?
I don't think it's gonna be a bomb because Marvel still makes money because it's Marvel. I think the problem with the MCU at its current state right now is you have to watch all the content to know what's going on. That's been Marvel's problem for a very long time now. Especially the more movies they make, the more you have to watch. Basically think of a book, right? Think of one big book, and now every single movie they make just becomes one little chapter in that book until you actually have a completed story. So every single Marvel movie probably feels unfinished because it has to continue and you have to watch the content before to know what's going on. So it's very difficult to have a highly rated film, especially if it involves previous content. Especially this is the first one that I think directly follows a show, Loki, because that's the first appearance we see of King the Conqueror, He Who Remains,
Yeah,
which was
that's
the
right.
midget.
Yeah.
It's the first appearance we see,
Yeah.
and this probably directly follows that. So if you haven't watched Loki, to at least some extent, you're probably not gonna know what's going on. Why is he even a villain? Like, why is he even a big deal? So I think that probably has a huge
I
play.
honestly forgot why he's a big deal because I saw Loki, but I don't even remember what.
With
Like,
you, it's
I remember
been
his
over a
character.
year.
I
Yeah.
remember his character in there, but I remember what the hell he did, and it's been a while. So I'm like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I can't
okay.
remember how he came to be or what he had to say or why he's important.
Right.
Sadly,
Yeah.
because it was a long time ago. I
Yeah,
should
it
probably
was.
rewatch it.
I rewatched the last episode today actually because I'm watching it tomorrow as well at 6:00. So I had to get a little refresher. But King the Conqueror has been in the comics for a few years now.
Yeah, that I know, but
yeah, he's very.
I don't know his purpose or anything. So
sorry to say, I've never heard of him until Loki.
yeah.
That's fine.
Never
I mean,
heard.
again, not a lot of people have unless you read the comics. But he's basically a big bad Thanos level big bad. So
be honest, I heard of Thanos, but I never knew how big of a villain he was until I saw the movies.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Straight up.
I may have heard the
Yeah.
name, but because he looks, obviously they changed his look. I probably don't
Yeah.
recognize him because you know what? We had those Marvel Masterpiece cards back in the day of like every single character.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was in there, and he probably just looks completely different.
Yeah,
So I'm just
blue, green, and purple. Basically,
Okay.
that's what you think of King of the Conqueror.
Apocalypse then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Apocalypse was not green; he was like
It was
purple and blue.
Purple,
Like
blue,
bluish. Yeah.
So yeah, basically, King the Conqueror is just this is an intro movie. It's honestly, I feel like it's gonna be another situation where Doctor Strange 2 should have been called Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
This movie should have been called King the Conqueror because it's probably gonna be he's gonna. So far, what the reviews are saying, he steals the show.
Yeah, that's basically. I've heard that the movie is kind of just a mixed mess. It actually feels like its own Star Wars movie, which is I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about that until I see it. But they're saying that King is basically the best thing in this movie.
Yeah,
and
maybe he's the most grounded. And it's like it's
Yeah.
Quantumania. I'm sure it's gonna be really wacky. You know, it's funny in my head because I actually watched it. I'm imagining it's gonna be like Strange World, a little bit.
Oh,
That Disney movie that
the
flopped.
one came out. Oh, I hated that.
I did not see that, so
I
don't
saw
know.
it. I did not like it. It was
Yeah, I didn't think it was great. It was different, but I feel like it's gonna be like that, and so
Yeah.
then when you have a normal villain, he's gonna be like, "That's the only part of this I can relate to," so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder. I'm interested to actually give him a real judge on his because he was doing a lot of that in Loki, like his monologue speeches of philosophy and all this shit. And I was like,
Well, it's gonna be. It's
man.
basically a different character altogether.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's like a variant.
He Who Remains is a different variant of King the Conqueror. So
Right.
He Who Remains was trying to like keep it all together. That's why he made the TVA in the first place. King the Conqueror is a conqueror. He wants to rule everything. So it's going to be a totally different character play.
Very confusing. I
Very
kind of remember this
confusing.
now, but that is pretty trippy to introduce somebody on the first fly, and it's the same actor, but you're like, no, I'm not that person. I'm this person.
He's not He Who Remains at all. He Who Remains was trying to protect everyone from variants like King the Conqueror.
So you could totally see how a critic who doesn't know jack shit, let's be real,
Exactly.
they don't watch anything. They're thinking about their words and Twitter feed. I don't think they give a crap about the content.
Exactly. So
they're gonna be lost as hell. So no wonder like
no wonder it's getting low ratings because of that, honestly. Because if you don't know the amount of Marvel content they've shot out in the last year, especially everything going on with the multiverse and timelines, you're not gonna know what's going on in this movie. This is basically another chapter in Marvel's big book. That's all it is.
Got it.
So I'm the oddball out, but I've been feeling the personally since probably Thor: Love and Thunder, which I was entertained, but it was a disappointment for me. And then the next movie,
She-Hulk for me, but I'm just
there you go. Well,
yeah.
Look, I like She-Hulk better than I probably should have, but it's because I don't care about. It's like who. To me, She-Hulk is not an important character. It's more like
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I know.
But I get what you're saying too. It's like it was especially by the end. It's like here's my son. I'm like that was dumb.
Yeah,
don't get me started on that. That just
there was that. Miss Marvel, we pretty much liked.
I liked it, but I didn't love it either. It's like I don't. Yeah.
And then there's the one I think we're all in disagreement on, which is Wakanda Forever. Whatever. I'm not going to talk about it much, other than it was the right tone. It did what it was supposed to for saying goodbye to Chadwick. I feel like in the story it was very blank. So I feel like that's how we ended it on this. We introduced some new things.
Yeah.
To me, it was like this is feeling like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be as bored as I was in this movie and other movies, I don't know.
Yeah,
And I wasn't alone. I know you're like, okay, yeah, the one other guy you saw it with, but we've talked about it, and we still agree. It's like that was boring, right? It wasn't just us that day. And he's like, no, man, I tried to watch it again, and I actually picked it over Avatar because it was shorter, but a lot less entertaining. At least he said that too. So that's what we felt. Whatever. Now I'm wondering, is this is supposed to be the movie to get us going again? And if people are like, "Ugh," we'll see.
Yeah.
I tend to go
Yeah,
against critics,
yeah.
so
Yeah, it's really hard with Marvel because when it comes to, I mean, think about Ant-Man. I'm sorry, not Ant-Man, Iron Man. It's the first Marvel movie ever to come out. It didn't really break box office records. People weren't really like talking about it that much.
Iron Man?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, of course they were. What are you talking about?
Okay,
You were
but
too young to remember, probably. But that was a
2000,
big movie when it
2008.
came out.
it wasn't like
It wasn't
$1 billion.
huge. It wasn't like,
It wasn't $1 billion, but it was like,
It
damn, that was
was.
a good ass movie. Like it got attention.
I mean, that was
And
the first MCU movie that kind of blew up, and it was like, oh shit! I mean, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. I remember when it came out, it was a pretty big deal. It was people went to go see it a lot. I saw it at
actually
least 3
thought
times.
I remember the
So
preview came out, and I was like, damn, that looks so cool. And I was like, back in my mind, going, probably not gonna be great, but yeah, it's gonna be okay. And then it blew me away. I was like, damn, that was awesome. I want more of
yeah,
this.
But
So did everyone else.
okay.
So did everyone else.
Fair enough. Okay, so besides Iron Man, think of the first Marvel movies, like the first couple Marvel movies, the Phase 1, right? We have Phase 1, and it was a way to get everyone together into the last Avengers movie.
Yeah.
It was a good connection. They connected it all together.
yes.
This series of Phase 5, they haven't done a very good job of that at all.
Yeah, the shows
At
are
all.
where we're getting new
Yeah.
characters.
The shows
Yeah.
are where they're connecting stuff, and it's just like,
Man, I'm
And the
starting to
shows are
worry.
just like, yeah.
it's a mess.
Well, look,
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I might be disappointed, but I've said this before. Marvel has done so much in their first phases to wrap up like the first phase of their map. With Infinity and War and Endgame, they wrapped up so well. It gave us so much good content that if they, like I said, if they want to experiment and just kind of pull out these unknowns that no one really cares about and see how it turns out, whatever, man. Look, it might suck, but they've earned the right to actually do what they want at this point.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
got ups and downs. Even the shows like WandaVision, I really enjoyed. It
Yeah.
might have ended differently than I was hoping, but there were moments in that show I was like, this feels almost like Lost, like something Lost in its good years. Or like,
Yeah.
there's something epic going on here. I can't wait to figure out what it is.
Also, it's
Eh.
all the way from WandaVision, very, very questions that still left unanswered. Where is Vision? Where
Yeah.
is he? He hasn't
Is he
showed
gonna
up
pop
in
up?
any Marvel
You're right.
project
Yeah, you're
ever
right. You're
since.
right.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, why
Yeah.
did they even do that if he's not going to bring him back? I mean,
I liked WandaVision. I actually liked Falcon Winter Soldier a lot more than you guys did. I thought that was really solid. Moon Knight, I liked them to the part with the hippo, and I'm like, what the hell am I watching? That's where it lost me. I'm like, what the hell is this show?
I like
I'm not even sure.
Tawa'et, the hippo. All right, you leave her alone. All right.
I'm like, okay. And, the whole, it's funny because this guy, what's the actor's name?
Oscar Isaac.
He did a fantastic job acting wise. He really did. But I just felt like the story just didn't really. It felt like it started out really interesting, and then it ended kind of just like okay.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah.
When they were fighting
personally,
against
I love Moon Knight. I thought
That's
it was a
cool.
great show.
Yeah,
It's
It was
okay.
more- it was better.
It wasn't horrible. It just was like, all right. I could take it or leave it.
yeah.
Again, they didn't
So-
really connect anything other than saying that there's other afterlives besides ancestral plane. So again, they didn't
Yeah.
connect anything other than in the Marvel universe. So
Right.
I think Phase 5 is gonna start some good stuff, but I'll be honest, I think they abandoned Phase 4 because they realized, God, guys, we really aren't going anywhere with this. We've got nothing going on. We're just introducing Disney Plus. This is
Right.
our Disney Plus phase, and now they're like, I think the time it took to figure out Phase 5 needs to go ahead and start, and let's get the Secret Wars or whatever's next moving. I think it's the beginning of it, and I think some people are just losing out. And I think you're going to lose the critics until it starts to spice up a little bit. So I think if we can hold on to it and as fans look for the best there is, even me looking back at Wakanda Forever, it might have not been as my personal, cup of tea, but I should probably take from it what I can and try to hold on to what was probably the best franchise that's ever been built. Honestly, let's be real.
Right.
Like they've put it together better than we can say Star Wars nowadays too.
But honestly, the most exciting part as far as Phase 4, honestly, probably not for everyone, but for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's gone.
Why?
Oh, no. Hold on. Wait, Buck. Wait for your connection to come back.
Is it back?
Yes, now it's
you're
back.
frozen.
Yeah. Like I say, my favorite movie was Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, of course.
Because of the fact that, it brought back all the old Spider-Man. So of course it was nostalgia and everyone was excited, right? And that's the thing. I think what's gonna drive this new phase is again gonna be nostalgia factor, because once we reach the Secret Wars, we're gonna have everybody come back, and that's what's gonna make everyone want to see these movies again, because they're gonna have all the. I'm sure Iron Man's gonna come back. They're gonna have Tobey Maguire come back as Spider-Man again at some point. Andrew Garfield. They're gonna bring everybody back. We'll probably have we're gonna get Deadpool 3 with
Wolverine, yeah.
Wolverine,
Jackman.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Too.
I was about to say, if this doesn't go right, they have all of Phase 6 to get through as well. It's like, we'll never get the X-Men. Like they're gonna wait too long, and then it's gonna be like no one cares. You're done.
I feel like they're really trying to hold off on that for like the emergency button. All right, time to
let's do this.
Yeah.
And then they can introduce a whole new world.
It's funny because they say that Fantastic Four is going to start shooting at the end of this year, and yet the announcement for the cast has not been announced yet. Like they don't know, like bullshit.
Because they don't want to be like John Krasinski's not it.
Yeah, they want to get through Quantumania and get through whatever the big bulk of money is, and they'll make their bad news announcement that it's not John Krasinski. Sorry, new guy. F you for not being John Krasinski. It's your fault. Yeah, we don't care anymore. It should be John Krasinski. Everyone's an idiot for not casting him. Yeah, everyone. Yeah. All right.
Well,
we got 5 minutes to talk about the Flash here. Yeah.
So let's see how Quantumania does. I'm curious to see how it is going to perform.
I still have high hopes.
I'm not really sure.
It's not. Yeah. Well, we just have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap this up with Flash, because Rhett is falling asleep here.
Yes,
I am. Sorry, guys.
So the Flash trailer finally premiered on the Super Bowl this Sunday, and let's face it, it was far and beyond the best trailer for the Super Bowl as far as the movies.
Good.
Yeah. I was excited. I love the fact that we got a really first good look at Michael Keaton as Batman. I love that Ben Affleck's back as Batman. They introduced Supergirl and a lot of cool elements. I mean, Zod. I had no idea Zod was gonna be in this movie.
Nope.
A lot of cool things that I could definitely see where, if they chose to end the Snyderverse with a bang and wrap up these characters, or kind of just open the doorway to see where James Gunn is going to take these characters. Not sure if Henry Cavill's going to be back. It's a possibility. They could bring him back for this movie and kind of wrap up his character. We don't know. But from what I saw, Ezra Miller's all over this thing. They can't avoid it. Unfortunately, it is what it is. He is the main character. But it was interesting. It looked really good. They are
the main character.
There was two of them.
I counted. I can count, dude. 1 and 2.
Yeah, there was two of them.
I hate you.
Anyway, so yeah, it looked really good. Honestly, with all the anticipation that's been going on with this movie, all the talk and everything, this is actually my most anticipated movie of the year. Not that I'm like really happy to see it, because I don't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping for a great movie. I'm scared of it, and I'm excited for it. So I guess that is why it is my most anticipated movie of the year. And it's been delayed for so long. I mean, so many reshoots, and the main actor was just in trouble and they had to postpone it. And this is before the James Gunn regime kind of took over everything. So he has not touched this at all. So I'm curious to see what really this is all about, how it's going to pan out. I mean, what do you guys think?
As a DC fan, I'm not a big DC fan per se. I guess I'm kind of excited to watch it to see how they're going to restart the whole DC universe, because it really needs one, in my opinion. So I'm excited for it. At the same time, I don't care for Ezra Miller. I don't care for Ben Affleck. I don't care for a lot of the movie, really. I like the Zod feature. That was cool. I like the Michael Keaton Batman. Looked awesome. Looked really good. But besides that, it's going to be a Flashpoint movie, basically. So it's just they're just restarting the whole movie altogether. I'm excited to see that in live action. So, I mean, again, I don't really have high hopes because I'm not a big DC fan. The recent formulas of the previous movies, I'm not a big fan. So my expectations are low. So probably when I walk out of the theater when I watch it, they'll be a little higher because, again, I'm not a big DC fan. So that's just my take on the whole movie and universe as a whole. So you can go ahead, Red.
Yeah. Okay. Everything I saw I liked. The only thing that I personally I need to either know why or I'm mad. Supergirl instead of Superman. I don't mind Supergirl being there. I think that's a perfectly cool character. But without the whole Henry Cavill get rid of him thing is frustrating. So there's no reason that shouldn't be him that's flying next to him in the next to the Batwing, unless it has to do with the story and he's part of the universe that is effed. And what I'm really, really, really hoping is, and this is probably not going to happen, but maybe they're saving his small cameos if they even exist for the Superman we saw and Zack Snyder's Justice League, where he is that alternate evil Superman where they killed Lois, and that's one of the universes
Yeah.
that Barry needs to resolve. By resolving his big mission, it's gonna fix everything, including his mom, the Michael Keaton verse, this Zack Snyder verse, and that would actually end cap the Zack Snyder story because that shows, hey, that happened, but Barry fixed it and reset the universe. So if it shows Flash jumping into that post-apocalyptic world at some point, even if it's a quick 5-minute thing, and then evil Superman is flying around chasing him while he's speed lightning and he's just zapping him, he's like, I am gonna die from this evil Superman. Stuff like that would be perfectly fine and a great reason why we have Supergirl instead of Superman. If we
Yeah.
never get an explanation as to why he's gone, it's gonna be not good for me.
I agree. It wouldn't be good for
Yeah.
me either. I'll be honest. Yes, I
It's-
totally am in agreement with you.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna love the Batman for Michael Keaton stuff and be like, great, so glad you threw that in there. But that's such a far-fetched idea that how could you not have the same main superhero who is just in this universe?
Yeah.
You know, where we left him in the Justice League, the Joss Whedon version.
But see
He-
that's the problem though, because I don't know if because I heard that the regime that the old DC regime that ran things did not consider Zack Snyder's Justice League as canon.
No,
So
yeah.
I don't know
Zack
if they're
Snyder.
playing. I'm not sure if they're playing off the Justice League, the original Justice League, or Zack Snyder's.
The
I
original.
don't know.
It's got to be the original.
You know,
It's
so
fine, but that's still elements from that part of it, whether it showed Superman coming down as evil, happened. Bruce Wayne still had the dreams of the apocalypse
from
world.
Batman v Superman, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
like
Yeah,
it did have that universe happen. We just got to see a little bit more of it in Zack Snyder's finished version. So it'd be nice to have. I don't think we're getting that. I think for some reason it's just going to be we have Supergirl, and this is a mixed universe. This is another universe where we never got Superman. We got Supergirl. And it just never explains why you'll never see Henry Cavill other than, oh, we didn't visit that universe. Barry has left that universe to work on other universes. So I think that's what they're going to give us, and that's going to be disappointing.
well, I liked in the trailer that in the trailer he said
This is the world my mom's in.
yes, yeah. There was a scene where Michael Keaton, I could tell you can see him, but it was his voice talking to him. Like, why? What is it about this world that you want to save? Is because this is the one that my mom's in. So I feel with that phrase alone, right? Like, that's a good way to like if they want an out, right? Like, we don't have to have Ezra Miller back as Flash anymore, right? Because that's the explanation. He wants to stay in this world because that's where his mom's in. So, okay, maybe
That's
they
fine.
were setting that up to like, okay, so maybe we don't have to bring him back anymore, and they can have a new Flash.
And everybody else too. Everybody else can stay there with
Because
him.
yeah, I think you know what I have a feeling. A lot of the answers that we want, James Gunn already knows because he's seen this movie already, and maybe in this movie it explains why Henry Cavill will not be back as Superman, and the explanation as to the open-ended explanation. Oh well, we don't know if Ezra Miller will be back as Flash. We don't know if Gal Gadot will be back as Wonder Woman. Maybe he knows already. Just this movie will answer that. It's possible. Maybe not, but
I'd like to think that
we'll
too,
see.
man.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. It's like you can't really give away everything. He can say so much, so we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I hope that's what it is.
Because he's been so coy about like, oh well, I mean, there has to be a reason why he can't give a straight out answer if this is a reboot or not. I just maybe it is. He just can't say it yet until this movie comes out.
Yeah.
So
And if we're all disappointed because it's not true and it's just like, oh, it's the same thing as the Sky, Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi, and no one knew what the hell was going on, and they just shot
Yeah.
from the hip, and they tried to say it's fine, this works, answer it
Mhm.
in a way, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't answer everything.
Right.
Yeah, it does. You have to. There's ways to answer everything. Just do
Yeah.
it.
I
But no
mean,
one behind the scenes knows how to
they
do it.
said from John Campea, they said, oh, we know a lot of people that have seen this movie. Big heads up, they're saying it's one of the best superhero movies. James Gunn said it too. But again, like, well, what's James? I mean, what are they supposed to say? Oh yeah, this movie actually
This movie
sucked.
sucked. Yeah.
So
know.
I don't know what. And
Uh,
who said that? Big executives, big producers who know nothing about shit. They don't know,
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have to admit, it looks better to me. It looks better than Black Adam's trailer. It looks
yeah,
better
of
than
course.
It's probably really well
Shazam 2.
made. It's probably
Yeah.
like it probably visually and acting wise probably looks fantastic, but we don't
Yeah,
know.
look, as much as the
Cool
issues.
idea too.
I mean, Ezra Miller has a lot of issues, right? But he's a good actor. I've seen him in a lot of movies where he's a good actor. He is. I mean, he's got a bunch of problems, but I have no doubt that him acting in this movie is going to hurt it because I know he could pull. He has the acting chops, and it's going to be fine. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the Michael Keaton stuff looked great though, right? Like we could all agree that like the way he moved and like I saw like the swoop down and then his feet come out with a kick. I was like, God, that was actually reminiscent of some of his fighting styles from the older movies, And it is kind of cool to think this is what happens sometime after Batman Returns. Like, I don't know, will he bring up Selena? I mean, will she make a cameo? Like, how many are we anticipating? I wasn't really anticipating cameos, but I'm starting to think now. I wonder if there are more cameos hidden in here that we're gonna be like, oh my god, look at that.
Most likely, yeah. I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, this is the movie to do that, if anything. So
Christian Bale. Christian Bale.
I've heard that rumor too. It's like
I've heard it. Maybe.
But I think a lot of people were confused because they saw the motorcycle and I was like, no, dummies, it's that's not the same one. Ben Affleck has that. I saw in the preview like pictures a year ago where it showed like they were comparing the Batman's motorcycle, which looked very simple, and then it was like Ben Affleck's, Justice League style cool ass motorcycle, and it looks so much more awesome. I was like, that's the cool one.
Did you see like the second scene where it looked like Ben Affleck Batman, but his suit was almost like a bluish kind of gray. It looked almost comic book accurate. Way. It was very quick, but I was like, oh shit. So I'm like, I wonder how many different Batmans we're gonna get.
I know. I watched a video where they did a frame by frame and they paused there, and that person may or may not be Batman. They were saying it may be another Flash version because his boot has a very, very pronounced white lightning bolt going up the boot of the guy in that costume.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Zoom. Maybe it's reverse.
I would like to see George Clooney Batman out of all of them. To be honest,
I thought the same thing. I was like, how funny would that be?
That would make no sense because technically speaking, Val Kilmer and George Clooney was their version of Keaton because it was in the same universe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay. And
so it wouldn't make any sense for them to cameo because that's the same Batman. That doesn't make any sense, but technically it is.
Here's the real story. Because Flashpoint is a time thing. It doesn't matter how far in the future Flash happens. This movie, it crossed over and he made a verse, and then Batman Forever is technically a sort of a mix-up of what happened. You could go that far back. If we're going as far back as Michael Keaton, you could throw in there that there's been other versions of the Riddler. There's been Two-Face. I mean, if we're going as far back as Keaton, that means you could justify that Val Kilmer's was real, but just a different alternate verse, and so was.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah.
It's silly. It's so silly, and I would definitely not want them to ever go there, to be honest with you. But it is funny to think if George Clooney was a surprise cameo, I'd be like, oh man, I don't know what to think of this. Yeah, Bane.
It's gonna be
Tom Lee Jones as Two-Face again. Be great.
The new Batman, the Brave and the Bold series they come out with. The Batman's gonna be George Clooney. It's gonna
it's gonna be George Clooney. Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
How funny would that be?
Just like in Ocean's 11, teaching people.
And they're gonna bring back Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. That'd be amazing.
That'd be fantastic.
I thought out finally.
Jim Carrey's coming out of retirement to be Riddler again.
That'd be awesome. I have no problem with that. That'd be great.
I don't know. I watched Batman Forever a few years back, and I was like, I don't know. Jim Carrey was very Jim Carrey, and
he was sure. Look, at the time, he was the reason. At the time, it was great. It was the reason why that movie was brilliant. So great was his performance. So it wasn't Tom Lee Jones. That's for damn
No, his was terrible. But anyway, all right. Well, when Flash is June?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Why?
It's June 16th, 2 days before my birthday. So that would be a
Ooh.
nice birthday present for myself to see that movie.
What was your?
So,
You had a big.
shit. Now I
Damn
forgot.
it! I'm sorry.
Damn
Aw.
it. Yeah.
I was talking about the date.
Damn. What was it?
It's Red's fault.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Supergirl. Do you think this will be the Supergirl that will be used in James Gunn's Supergirl version?
Depends on how
96?
much she's liked.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
See how much of the fans think. Positive reviews.
You know, I gotta look. I have to admit, she looked cool in the trailer. I was just upset that 'cause I first saw her flying in the air and I thought it was Henry. Just like Brett, I thought it was Henry. I was like, oh, but I'm like, oh no, it's okay. But
first Hispanic
what are you gonna
Supergirl.
do? Yeah.
She's Hispanic. Yes, she is.
Oh, and let's not forget first Hispanic Flash, because when he was a little baby in the Flavor, he was a Hispanic little boy, and then he turns into Ezra Miller. His mom is like a Spanish woman.
No, she's not.
The actress is a Spanish woman.
I thought it was Amanda Pete. It was Amanda Pete.
Amanda Pete. No.
Yeah, she looks like her mom. His mom looks like Amanda Pete. I thought it was Amanda Pete.
I didn't get a good look at his mom.
They recast the dad too. It's not the same.
They recast the dad. Yeah, the guy from Office Space.
That's to say, it's a Latin family now. Well, he's not Latin, but
he's not Latin. Yeah,
she is, and then the little boy is definitely.
Is she? I gotta watch it again. I could have sworn it looked like Amanda Pete. I don't know.
Just look her up. I don't know what the name of the actress is, but
I would have to look it up.
Now I'm curious.
But then Ezra Miller's like, I guess he could pass for maybe like a mixed Hispanic kid, you know. If you, I don't know.
My dad thought Ezra Miller was Asian, so I was like,
jeez.
Yeah.
A mixed Asian, maybe. I don't know. So here we go. It's time to start thinking at the future. This is the end of the Zack Snyderverse and the beginning, maybe, of the new one.
Hopefully
who knows?
Something better. Who knows?
There's so many dang Chinese balloons flying around and UFOs that who knows if we'll make it that far, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, true. I know, right?
Oh my god.
It's real. I mean, there's
it's a lot of UFOs. Yeah, it's like
I don't think he knows what we're talking about. There's like a lot of they've been shooting down a lot of things in the sky lately after the Chinese balloon. So
I don't know what's
who knows.
going on.
We might not make it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Okay, that's fine.
Play some REM.
I'll finish Hogwarts before then. Hopefully.
That's all you need.
Finish
Hogwarts.
I'll finish Hogwarts. I want to at least make it to Jedi Survivor. At least.
Oh man,
in April.
I at least want to make it to Ahsoka just to see what they have.
Oh
yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
After that, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, Mandalorian's gonna be after Last of Us, so we got some things to hold us over till Flash comes out. That's
absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's do this.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you for joining us again. Hopefully we'll be back next week to talk about something else. See how it goes. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you later. Have a good night.
Adios.
All right.